Yes, this is a capture point, and no, this is not domination. It is, in fact, land battles with caps, and this is myself against Rider Rohan. It's a battle I fought in preparation for another video. I'm actually going to be announcing tomorrow my own bot ladder on my Discord server. We'll have a full announcement video with the whole 9 yards tomorrow, but this is one of the battles I fought while recording that video. You will see me live play it tomorrow if you choose to watch that video at 7x speed and in context of something else. I just figured you guys would want to see it. It's a pretty epic battle, and I definitely want to share it with you. On its own, I can kind of assess, get close-ups, slowdowns, all that jazz, sort of talk about things. And in general, I'm looking to push land battles with caps. It's a great game mode that just solves a lot of issues with land battles, kind of prevents you from having to develop a huge multi-page rule set with attacking rules and everything else. Also incorporates the fruit rules unit caps, so it has, you know, tournament army limits built in, essentially, right? So all of that is fantastic. It's been a labor of love by many members of the community, especially like Alfare, Gojira, Yumeis. So appreciate all you guys, and Alfare is also the one who made the bot that I'm using for it as well. Just, I wanted to promote to the community the work they're doing and really draw attention to land battles with caps as a game mode, just because I see so much promise with this for a game mode that offers so much of what we want from Total War, which is the giant epic clashes with some rules restrictions to keep the cheese out as much as possible. But anyway, let's talk about the builds real quick. I have been using this Colossedon Hunter build quite a bit recently with Tic-Tac-Toe, Colossedon Hunters, and 3 more Ripperdactyls, actually. Yeah, quite heavy on the Air Force. We've got Skink Jabs as well, Cold Moon Riders for some AP Cab, and Skink Skirmishers for support. Skink Priest Lord Beast won't be forgotten. He'll be brought up very shortly. Up against Rider Rohan, he's got Techless, front line of Spearmen, second line of Silverin Guards with some Sisters of Avalorn, including the ROR, and also the ROR for archers with light armor for additional fire damage, Fireborn as well. Looking for some heavy fire synergy, of course. Techless also has Kindle Flame, Nets, Regrowth, Block of Doom, which is the only thing I have on my Skink Priest, but assessing things initially, I see the threats to my army mainly as the Fireborn and the 3 archers, so I'm going to move in the Skinks kind of to just disrupt, throw javelins if they can. Rider Rohan will countercharge somewhat, and I come in here to try and get a nice flank attack. The net does go off, and it does net a couple of these units, but you see this one on the edge here, the majority of the unit models are actually not netted, so even though the animation hits them, they're able to still get through and get on a 1 unit at least. Certainly they are taking some pretty substantial damage while this is taking place. But we've also got those Cold One Riders up through this gap here, getting on those archers, again, just shutting them down and trying to prevent them from firing. Meanwhile, the Colossedon Hunters and Tic-Tac-Toe are fighting the Fireborn in the front line, using that anti-large to great effect. Go after this elite cavalry with my own AP cavalry and Skinks saturating in here for support as well. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Oh, looking pretty good. I have to say, the map makers as well have done some pretty nice work in creating some excellent maps for multiplayer. There's a number of contributors who have made maps for the mod, so you don't have to worry too much. The bot will also select maps for you. Again, full rundown and instructional video tomorrow, but this is just a battle for today, so let's focus on the battle. Ripperdactyls moving in. Cold One Riders definitely paying a pretty hefty price. They don't actually do a huge amount of damage, but nonetheless they're able to still get in here and get some work done. That Flock of Doom as well, now that the Skink Priest is here involved, is going to be getting some really nice value on those Spearmen. Silverin Guards Spell Resistance will help them shrug off some of that damage, 30%, but still, over time, such a cheap spell, it will be able to generate some really nice value for me. And for Rider Rohan here, just being able to limit his Archer's ability to generate value so far has done very well, despite the fact now my Rippers are kind of forced to fight a lot of Spears and other units that have anti-large. Well, it's mostly just Spears and Silverin Guard, right, that have anti-large, but as long as I keep them kind of in a cohesive blob and fight all together, they should do a good job of fighting the Spears, especially with Skink support. I don't know what's going on with my scroll wheel here, but I'm gonna get some fancy panning we come through. See Teclis getting attacked at this point with Fireborn mostly dealt with. Tic-Tac-Toe is going to take on Teclis with the Colossadon Hunters. Double Flock of Doom here as just both of us just suffer under the magic of one of the most efficient damage spells at clearing out just armies right now, to be honest. But yeah, looking pretty good so far. For me, at least. If we look here on the damage, there's no balance of power. There's also no army losses, which is certainly a difference in land battles with caps. But if we look at the difference in damage value here, I'm pretty significantly ahead, and that's even keeping in mind that Teclis has been probably doing some healing. He doesn't have a lot of excuse me, high-value targets to heal besides those Fireborn, and they were sufficiently dealt with. But yeah, just some more Flocks of Doom for me as Teclis continues to run. The other Rippers, the anti-infantry, are going to stay together, fly up in the air, and come hit this isolated spear on a little hammer and anvil charge. They've been fighting some skinks for quite some time, and now they're going to pay the price as fearsome Ripperdactyls descend from the skies and just absolutely shred them. Yeah, I mean, that's like 3,300 value worth of anti-infantry flying terror and death. I mean, not terror, but you know what I mean. Yeah, looking pretty good. Teclis trying to get away here, seeing if he can survive. Let's see if he's got another regrowth, perhaps. I did kind of forget about my skink skirmishers here for a minute. We'll get them back online shortly. But regrowth, fancy new animation. Certainly gives extra style points. Little Flock of Doom, sort of Teclis on himself, just to increase the amount of healing done from that regrowth as well. But Teclis can heal himself all he wants. It's not going to help him do a huge amount of damage, and granted, I have taken a pretty good amount of damage too on my Ripperdactyls, but to be honest, never really felt like this game was out of reach for me or out of control. Like, I always felt like I was the one in the driver's seat. And nice drop spear Tep-Hop there right on those spearmen. Actually does some pretty solid damage. So, nice stuff there. What's going on with this scroll wheel on this mouse? It's relatively new, but that's okay. Let's see here. Yeah, Teclis continuing to take some damage. We'll fast forward through this late game as land battles with caps. Maybe. Actually can't fast forward. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, Teclis is going to die here, and then Rider Rohan's going to throw in the towel shortly, but I don't know why I can't fast forward. Something's going on here. Maybe it's with the land balance caps where he's played specifically, or maybe something else is going on, but a little bit odd. Nonetheless, Skink Skirmishers get back online. The Rippers just absolutely tearing everything to shreds. Teclis escapes. I'm just going to focus fire with the Skinks. One volley is all it takes to fell him. That's enough for Rider Rohan to throw in the towel. I think. Yes. There we go. There it is. Yeah, definitely a fun one. Like I said, I've been really enjoying. I think because a lot of people expect Crocscore builds, and granted, some tools that would deal with Crocscores would also deal with Ripperdactyls, but it's just a little bit of a different, sort of more mobile attacking mindset, and you can kind of sort of pick and choose your engagements a little bit better, especially in certain matchups. Certainly, this is one where High Elves can definitely take some scary air tools, obviously, and Tempests, which would definitely punish my build pretty hard, but at the same time, trying just to spread out and not try to blob up so that Tempest would punish you so much. Certainly easier said than done, but yeah, Rippers end up doing a great job for me. Pretty much all paying for themselves. Skink Priest, just so cost-effective, 10,000 damage dealt, 1,200, and he costs like less than 500, I'm pretty sure, with just this very basic kit on foot. Colossadon Hunters also feast on some massive value, taking out the Fireborn, who absolutely do not perform on the opposite side. 1,000 value also on Tic-Tac-Toe. I mean, he's pretty cheap. Doesn't need to do a lot, but that extra support. I didn't highlight it too much there, but the extra armor, actually, for those Ripperdactyls definitely helps against the low AP anti-large, like Silver and Garden, Spearman. Gets them up to like 68 armor, I think, which is pretty good. I mean, it's almost 70, which is where things really, start to cascade and become very beneficial, certainly. Like the high end of medium armor, maybe, but Skinks also do a great job supporting here. Some of my cold ones even pay for themselves despite everything. Yeah. As for the Spearmen and Silver and Guard, some of them pay for themselves, but largely across the board, not particularly threatening. Archers also aren't able to pay for themselves, so just the power pieces I was able to limit pretty significantly, but it's definitely a fun one, definitely a tough matchup for High Elves as well. I mean, Lizardmen are definitely a top-tier faction, I would say, even with the nerfs. They're still, I would probably argue, within maybe the top 3 or 4 factions, but certainly remains to be seen. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Be sure to stay tuned tomorrow for my big ladder announcement and for the ladder itself to officially open. And that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.